we're an exchange, you just buy and sell Bitcoin. There's an order book and there's a graph, well, that's supposed to be a graph, and so that's what we do. And then you have so many things when you're building the product. You worry about the logos, you worry about so many different things, so you gotta focus on that first. Getting advices from really KOLs in the industry, the founder of Dahong is my good friend. So this is all before the Binance ICO. And then early June we were having we're just working very crazy hours. We're doing the pizza team thing. And then on June 14th, so this is a little bit of the early history of Binance. I'm going to click through them pretty quickly. So this is a hot pot dinner in Chengdu that actually everyone's talking about an ICO. So then we said, well, we're going to do. They all convinced me that we should do an ICO. So that on that day, I called my team, said we're going to do an ICO. So there's about 500 people in the potluck dinner, and Chandler, who's in the middle photo on the left. Considering the prices, Bitcoin was a lot cheaper back then. I think Bitcoin was like $3,000. So considering the Bitcoin price today, it's like a relatively expensive dinner. But that's that. We started the ICO June 24th. That's the first version of the website. We were constantly ordering takeouts. So I blurred the photo a little bit just to sort of have a little bit of anonymity. I really liked the first presentation over here. That was really cool. I'm gonna try one of those things once. But anyway, so we're building. We always focus on building the product. So it's very simple, one product-driven focus at the beginning. Again, we're worried about customer support. We borrowed a customer support team from one of our partners, from one of our clients from our previous business. So we put them all in the conference room, and so that's kind of how we got started. At the beginning, don't think about an ecosystem, just think about one product. The turning point, actually, let's go before the turning point. So this is how we set, on July 2nd of 2017, we finished our ICO, and we successfully raised $15 million equivalent in crypto. And this is how we celebrated. We had a small table, we ordered a takeout again. I actually wanted to take the team out to some real food. But they said we're going to launch by July 14th, and everyone's like, let's keep working. So that's on a Sunday, actually. So this is a Sunday lunch. When you're building a product first, before you build an ecosystem, you got to have a successful product. So you got to have a lot of users. Ideally, you want to be profitable first. So if you don't have profitability, building an ecosystem is pretty tough. Some companies are able to do that. Some internet companies with very fast user growth are able to do ecosystems, but you gotta achieve tremendous growth, and you gotta have tremendous product stickiness. For example, Uber can do that because their product's really, really sticky. So for us, we try to do things that other people don't do. So we look at other exchanges and we figure out what are the opportunities. Many people told us that the exchange space is oversaturated. There's like tons of exchanges on Coinmarketcap, obviously, before we started. And everyone says, don't do the exchange. So we said, well, there's still room to improve. So we made some stuff different. So Binance is one of the first exchanges to do exchange-based airdrops, or what we call gas distributions for NEO at that time. So this is similar to staking that we're doing right now, similar to forks, supporting forks, giving some people call it candy, some people call it forked coins. And we support mainnet upgrades for different blockchains, and then eventually we supported IEOs on the exchange. So these are all the things that we do differently. Well, this is actually only a small portion of the things we do differently compared to other exchanges at the time. And now everybody in the exchange space do this kind of stuff. So, but being the first one to do this gives us a very unique advantage. We were able to grow very rapidly. So you got to do things slightly differently. This is one of the conferences in July 2017. This is one of the 6 conferences happening in Shanghai in that month. And every conference, there's more than 3,000 people. It's a huge stage. It's fully packed. Actually, what's happening here on this in the middle picture is actually they've queued outside the door to this conference hall. People are lining up, but the hall is full, so they couldn't let people in. So people were like really. That was a really, really hot period, and we got lucky. So this is a period where altcoin trading is really, really hot. right? So in 2017, there's like thousands of ICOs. Each of them just having a white paper can raise millions of dollars. And then there's more money chasing them in secondary markets. And we got lucky. We were the crypto to crypto exchange, and that was the right time to do it. And so we've grown very quickly. I do think the market today is actually much healthier, even though it's a little bit quieter than 2017 in terms of the markets. Right now, Binance can facilitates about 10 to 20 different IEOs per year. That's kind of the maximum capacity one exchange can do. The bottlenecks really are due diligence teams that we work with the team for like 6 to 9 months before the IEO. But actually, so given the lower number of projects coming out, like say there's probably 10, 20 exchanges doing IEOs, or maximum like 10 high quality exchanges doing IEOs. We're going to see a much lower number of projects coming out, but the projects coming out are much stronger now, and they're much heavily due diligence vetted through by exchanges. So keep going forward. On August 8th, so the price of BNB after we launched on July 14th actually tanked. So it actually dropped below ICO price, and that was actually one of the toughest periods in my life. Very high pressure because thousands of people invested in our project and they were losing money. So you gotta find good partners. When He joined, that news alone cost BNB price to pump 29x, and we didn't do anything, right? So it was just like the news came out, and before that we were building a lot of features, but the price wasn't moving. So that happens a lot. That happens a lot in our industry. So you see projects releasing features after feature and user growing, but the price does not move. It happens all the time. The price does not cross down to value 100%. So you will lag, or you will always over fluctuate around the value. So you gotta find good partners, do your business. We're working on mobile versions, mobile apps. And also, one of the key things in our industry is you gotta anticipate change. You gotta be ready for setbacks. So, and you always gotta have plan B, plan C, plan D. So in my head, we actually don't have written plans for this, but in my head, we always prepare for that. So end of August in 2017, we decided to move our servers out of China. So we started in China in a small office in Shanghai. And the downtime was supposed to be 2 hours. It took 6 hours, of course. And then, but we also established what other people don't do. We established the guideline that we're going to communicate no less than every 2 hours when our trading stopped. So whenever on Binance, whenever there's a trading halt, we communicate at no less than every 2 hours. And other exchanges are copying that. So that's also good for our industry. So now the users get a lot more peace of mind when that happens. So on September 4th, about a week later, China first issued the sort of exchange ban, not the Bitcoin ban. So that the Bitcoin ban was portrayed by the Western media. But what happens actually, they don't want exchanges to run in the country. And we respect that, we already left. So but we still had a pretty big decision to make at that point. They also recommended all the ICO projects to return the funds to investors. And because of the news, actually most of the ICO projects tanked. We actually dropped in price. We dropped from like 15x to about 6x, but we're still 6x. So no one wants to return the money to get the original Bitcoins because they'll be crazy, right? They'll be dumb. But so most of the other projects we facilitated our product actually lost money. So there's a lot of investors losing money. And we had a decision to make. We could fork out $6 million out of our own pockets to make the investors on our platform whole, or we can just ignore it. And $6 million at that time represents a very significant chunk of our cash reserves. We raised $15 million about a month and a half ago, and we spent a bit of money already. And so $6 million represents somewhere between a third to a half of our cash reserves. And we decided we're going to spend that money. And guess what happened? That gave us a lot of really goodwill, and all the other users flooded to our platform. So the lesson there is you want to protect users. So when you're building an ecosystem or any business, you want to protect users, especially in our business. So in 2017, there's so many scams, there's so many fraud, there's so many bad ICOs, but people stuck with us through the hard times of 2018. So after that setback, things turned better. So in September 2017, BNB continued to climb. We released more apps, and we actually hit world's #1 exchange in trading volume on Coinmarketcap on December 17th. And that's also the same day that Bitcoin went to all-time high. We have so much user registrations. Like the CoinMarketCap was referring so much users to us that we actually had to stop registrations at certain points. So great. So in January, I was on Bloomberg, telling that Warren Buffett was wrong. By February, I was on the cover of Forbes. So all of those things are lucky shots. So up until this point, we actually really only had one product. So this is when we were actually very, very profitable. We had a massive number of users, and we were pretty close to 10 million users at that point in 6 months. So, and those are trading users. Trading users are very valuable. Trading users are much more valuable than social media users. So, and there was more coverage later on. But things don't always go smoothly. So, so far one product. By March that year, 2018, so last year, March, we got a warning from Japan's JFSA saying that actually Nikkei carried that news 2 days before we got a warning. So Nikkei, I saw in the news on Nikkei that we were supposed to get a warning. I looked all over the place, couldn't find it. And then 2 days later, I got an email. So it was like on a Friday morning at 8 a.m. in Tokyo time, and then by noon I had an interview with Bloomberg, and Bloomberg published the article around 2 p.m. and then the Prime Minister of Malta, Joseph Muscat, woke up at 4 p.m. Tokyo time, 8 a.m. his time, and just tweeted us, "Welcome to Malta." So that's the first. I think that's the first ever tweet by any country president to welcome any blockchain business to any country. So that was pretty good. So up until this point, we pretty much only had one product, but we were building other features. We just launched Binance Labs. We were facilitating other ICOs at that time, so it wasn't called a launchpad back then, but we were doing that already, but nothing else. So things speed up after this. Given the regulatory risk in 2018, I flew around all over the world meeting other presidents. So I squeezed in the president of Singapore right there. This is actually an old slide. I put this photo up front this morning. But anyway, so also when you're building an ecosystem, I highly recommend start from the bottom and be a contrarian. So when things are really tough, you actually want to move forward. So early this year, in January 2018, we relaunched Launchpad. So that's actually the first real ecosystem project we're building, and we launched BitTorrent, and that's at the bottom of the BTC price. BTC price was $3,100 at that time, and some says we caused the market to turn around. I really like to take the credit, but I don't think that's the case. I think we just timed it really well. We tried many other things before that too, but it's kind of luck anyway. So this is a very rough timeline. So you can see in 2017 on the top line, we just focused on one product really. 2018, in the tough years, we actually started really increasing the speed that we built. And 2019, we actually launched a lot of different new products in our ecosystem. So I will not go through all of this in detail, but you can see that this chart only goes to June. I didn't have time to update it. But since June, in the last 3 or 4 months, we actually launched some really major products. Actually, this graph shows it better. So we launched Futures, which is a major product, and Futures actually have higher trading volumes than Binance spot trading now. And we also launched P2P trading. Right now, it's really only working in China, but we will roll out to other places. We launched a bunch of fiat exchanges. And so we launched Jersey, Singapore, Australia, US. US is a really big one. It's a really tough one to launch. So we launched all of these other products too in the interim. So we actually didn't set out to build this ecosystem. So a lot of this stuff is we were just focused on building. And so my recommendation is really just focus on building features that your users want, and sooner or later, one of the features will turn into an ecosystem component. So we have Launchpad, Charity, fiat gateways, info, DEX. Binance X is a fellowship program where we just give money to developers to work on their projects. we're Binance Labs, which is the investment arm, we're Binance Research, Academy, and Trust Wallet. We actually have quite a few more in the pipeline right now. And we also added a lot of fiat gateways. So now we're changing from a crypto to crypto exchange to a fiat to crypto exchange as well. So many people have the wrong perception about Binance because when we started, we were crypto to crypto. So we now support euros, Russian rubles, UAH, KZT, and also Nigerian NGN is also supported recently. So our philosophy is very simple. When you want to build an ecosystem, just focus on one product and just expand that product out. So suddenly we have an ecosystem somehow. And the ecosystem works quite well together. They kind of complement each other. Before, I think the Coinmarketcap guys know the exchange stickiness is very hard to achieve stickiness for exchanges. Users move between exchanges quite easily. But when you have an ecosystem, people really tie in. So when your funds are sitting there staking on Binance, and you can trade it, and you can use it for leverage for futures, and you can earn by putting that to lending. When you have all of those features combined, it's very difficult to move those funds. People are very reluctant, or at least much more reluctant to move those funds. Again, so we launched Binance Chain, and suddenly we have all of these features and all of these ecosystem players supporting us. So there's a different, each circle is a different project accepting Binance. On the left is a different project accepting Binance BNB into their ecosystem. So BNB is much bigger than just a exchange token now. So this is something that people don't realize is that you actually achieve much higher value by letting your coin adopting into various different other projects. And on the right here, it's other projects who have launched their tokens on Binance Chain. This infographic is actually a couple of months old. The newer version doesn't fit on one slide anymore, so we have to spread them out. This are all the different places. Actually, this one's really old. Now you can buy BNB on about 30 different exchanges around the world using different fiat currencies. We also launched BUSD, which is not in this slide. And BUSD is already accepted by 28 exchanges that we counted about a week ago. So when you have a successful product, the ecosystem comes around you. So one of the very key things I want to stress is that when you have an ecosystem or when you're building a blockchain project, utility is bigger than profitability. So in traditional businesses, you want to maximize shareholder values, you want to maximize revenues, you want to maximize profits, and sooner or later. Eventually, some internet businesses want to grow users first, but eventually they have to focus on profitability. But that's different for a blockchain business. You want utility. So having lots of different projects, being able to use your coin is really, really good. And you want to get more users. You want to get more users to use your token or to use your coin. That's really, really valuable. So I can't stress that point strong enough. So I'm going to finish. I have exactly 1 minute left. So I'm going to finish with the last slide usually for most of my presentations. We also, in our ecosystem, we also have a Binance Charity, which is a 100% transparent donation system that's tracked by the blockchain. So all donations from incoming to we lended to all the way to the end beneficiary has to be tracked on the blockchain. So the Binance Charity website is really just you can think of it as a blockchain explorer or viewer that makes it easy to view. And this is outdated as well. So far we've raised about $7 million or so, and we have helped more than 10,000 beneficiaries now, and still growing. So, and today, one BNB is able to support about 76 kids' lunch in Africa. The lunch is actually quite significant, not just because of lunch, because when there's lunch, the kids stay in school. When there's no lunch, the kids don't stay in school. So for one BNB, you can sponsor one kid for 1 semester, and so you put one kid in school for 1 semester. So we've been helping more than 10,000 kids in Africa already. We've done more than 100 schools. So if you're willing, so please go to Binance Charity and make your generous donations. Last time I did this talk, Bobby from Crypto.com, he donated $500,000 worth of crypto the next day. So I'm hoping that will happen again soon. So that's all my presentation, and thank you so much for your support. And Binance, we would like to